So then these 3 pieces will all get wrapped together. You can make a good bit of tacos out of those.
Yeah.
I was talking to my video, but.
Oh.
Alright guys, today I was working on a deer that was given to me, getting ready for the freezer. And I wanted to make a video of how to break down this hind quarter of this deer. So this has been in the cooler. It's not been submerged in ice, just had ice sitting on top of bags of ice. So it's fairly dry. This one was on the bottom, so it does have a little bit of moisture to it. So this may look different if you soaked yours in water. But there's a little bit of hair, a little bit of dirt and things. And so we're going to try to pick those hairs off if you can get them pretty easy. A lot of that's going to come off when we get rid of this outside skin, and you'll see some of that. And so as we clean it up, we'll slowly pick off the hairs and dirt, anything we find. And so you don't have to be meticulous at the very beginning and try to get it super clean. What do you mean? And so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this, give a little bit of commentary when I feel like it's needed, and a lot of it you may be able to get from just watching the video. So I hope you enjoy. I hope it's not too long. Just like, subscribe. And so we're just going to trim off some fat that we see. So it'll have this little membrane on it. Get your finger under that membrane, and then you can kind of just work that membrane off. And that'll take a lot of your hair and debris with it. And this will really only work if it's been drying, been a little air dried. And just take it off the top as well. I'm not a professional butcher. This is all I've learned just over years of doing it and looking at different cut sheets on meat and things like that. You figure out what part is what. So this is not the only way to do it. This is just my way of doing it. So here I'm going to cut this piece of fat off. I'm just kind of trimming up a little bit at a time. We're not going to take all the fat off of it. We're not going to worry about all the silver skin on the hams, because a lot of that silver skin you can work to your advantage if you're putting it in the freezer. You can wrap it with the silver skin on it, and it adds a little bit extra layer of protection from freezer burn. Then you just trim it off when you get it done. That cuts down on your time that you're doing it right now. And it helps to have a good knife. So this whole time I'm just pulling a little hair off, a little bit of fat here and there. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to start breaking this down to different sections. You can see here, this is a line. This is kind of your top round. This is going to be like a roast. And I don't know all the terms, but you can see, oh, there's a hair. You can see there's a seam here, and once you start cutting these layers off, you'll find more seams. So we'll start with this one, and you just send your knife just follow that seam and then open it up with your fingers. And you can pretty much go all the way to the bone with your fingers and divide it. And then just get your knife in there and open it and start cutting. And once you kind of pull, you can see how that stuff divides up. And you can just start using your fingers and separating a lot of it without cutting. You can see I've got some tension there. I'll cut that. And you can see how it just divides up and cuts. And so then I've got a little piece here I'm going to pull off. And see, there's a, right here in the center, there's a little bit of fat and there's a gland in here. I should see if I can get a better picture. But there's a, see, that's a lymph node right in the center. And so you don't want to just cut this off in big chunks and start grinding, because you might get that. You don't want to eat that. And so now that we got some of this exposed, we'll go through here and cut these veins and fat out of here. This knife I'm using is a Victorinox knife. It holds a real good edge. This is I think it's a 6-inch flexible semi-flex boning knife. But it's a super knife. Holds a good edge real good. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. And then this whole process, you just hit it with a steel a couple times. And so now I'm just continuing to kind of work at my fingers. And so right here, there's the bone, and we'll just start cutting at the bone, just letting that tip follow your bone and rolling it back with your fingers. And then just cut it right there. And then your joint right there from your shank is coming up. And so we'll just continue to cut it loose. When you put it in tension, it makes it a little bit easier to cut. And you start seeing some more silver skin. So you got another muscle coming in right here. And we're just going to work our fingers and work it off. And don't worry about any extra meat that you might have with it. We're going to come back and trim that up and cut that off. Any of this little bit that you cut off, just check for hair, and that'll go in our grind pile. They probably come through the windows. Huh? They probably come through the windows.
I didn't find anything. I wanted to find my Legos.
Oh man.
And this is going to be part of our shanks right there.
Okay.
And here I'm just pulling that little bit of skin. Pulling that off. Thanks. I'm just going to just start in here and cut to the center. And then just start working them off. Same way, just kind of put it in tension and roll it off. And the shanks are good for tacos. I don't try to take all that sinew and silver skin out of them, But if you can put them in a crock pot and cook them real slow, and all that just kind of dissolves. And kind of just then you're all done. If you wanna cut some of this off for your grind pile, you can. A lot of that I'm just gonna leave for the dogs. I'll freeze these and give them to them periodically. We'll start with the shanks since they're pretty easy. So these 3 pieces are kind of what you're going to get off your shanks. They've got a lot of little sinew and a lot of little silver skin and cartilage running through them, so they need to be slow cooked. But so we'll wrap all these together, wrap them up whole. So I'm just going back, making sure there's no hair, cutting off any excess fat or anything. Where is your mommy? Mommy's coming back. And a lot of this is once you get it off the bone, it's strictly up to you how much you want to leave on. I don't think none of this really causes a bad flavor, so it's okay to leave it on. I'm just working. See that loose membrane? I'm just kind of working that off with my fingers. And as you take that off, it takes a lot of hair and stuff with it. Cut these little white tips off. So then these 3 pieces will all get wrapped together. You can make a good bit of tacos out of those.
Yeah.
I was talking to my video, but.
Oh.
You got this. Not really sure what it's called.
Well, I'm gonna set my meat grinder up on this so that I can start working.
You can use it, set it over here if you want to, just run an extension cord.
Juice is not in here. I feel pretty confident.
So this is just a little, I don't know, it looks kind of like a little tenderloin. I've got another one off the other ham, so I'll probably wrap it with it. These little parts that I'm cutting in chunks are going into Hamburger. This will be Hamburger too. So you kind of lay it down, and then I use my fingers to kind of rake it out, let it stick, and then I just cut off the edge, cut off that fat.